This is the ROG Ally. Comes with a 65-watt charger. It's got this really nice finish on the backside. Comes with some documentation. And then this very inexpensive stand. Feels like cardboard, honestly. The ROG Ally has an AMD Z1 Extreme processor, which uses RDNA 3 graphics, along with 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5 memory. It has 2 cooling fans, which work really well. My hands never burn up while holding this. It feels really comfortable. It weighs 608 grams, and again, very comfortable, barely noticeable, feels very comfy. It has curved handles with micro triangular texture on the handles and decoration lines on the front to secure your grip, and these work great. It'd be really nice if they would have thrown some metal in there somewhere, here or there. Kind of similar like they did on their Azoth keyboard. That aluminum really was nice on that. It has 2 RGB lights on both joysticks, and it does look really nice. My camera does not do it justice. It has a beautiful 120Hz 1080p display, 7 inches, with a response time of 7 milliseconds, as well as AMD FreeSync. The screen is honestly perfect, and it looks beautiful.
Could we possibly make any more noise? I guess so.
It has an insanely amazing stereo system. I can't express this enough. I'm blown away by the speakers on this thing. It has dual smart amp speakers with Dolby Atmos and two-way AI noise cancellation. I really am a geek when it comes to sound, and I am blown away by how these 2 front speakers, it gives you an immersive experience without needing headphones. Go ahead and take a listen to the Halo soundtrack real quick. The Ally has a dedicated Armory Crate button. It's got a power button, volume controls, USB-C along with a dock for an additional graphics card, and a micro expansion slot for extra storage, as well as an aux cable jack. All right, let's go ahead and get into what people will be using this for, which is gaming, which is exactly what I'll be using this for. I played a lot of different games on this, from Days Gone, Halo, Titanfall, Spider-Man, Uncharted, and Battlefield 2042. My biggest question with the Ally was if it would actually be a fun gaming experience for me. I say that because I tend to play graphically intensive games that are just not enjoyable for me at low frame rates. When I heard the Ally may struggle to maintain 60 frames for some games, even on lower settings, I was worried. For me, it was a question if I would notice these lower frames, these drops on a small screen. The only games that I was able to consistently maintain above 60 FPS were Titanfall 2 and Halo. Halo Reach, Halo 2 Anniversary, and Titanfall all were able to stay over 60 frames and are an amazing experience on the Ally. I cannot express that enough. Now, games like Days Gone, Spider-Man, Uncharted, Battlefield 2042, I was never able to keep things consistently over 60, almost no matter what I did with the settings. Now, I probably could get a consistent 60 frames, but it would be degrading the graphics to a point that it's almost not worth playing the game. These games are beautiful for a reason. It's almost part of the game. Days Gone and Spider-Man, they're cinematic experiences that should be enjoyed cinematically. Same goes for Uncharted. And if you dumb them down as far as their graphics go, you lose the magic. You're missing out on an experience that maybe just isn't worth having on a portable device. I pretty much, on all these higher end games, Days Gone, Spider-Man, 2042, Uncharted, I averaged pretty much around 45 frames. Now, the question is, do these frame drops affect gameplay? For me, yes, they do. When I'm used to 120 frames per second, going to 45 frames, it's noticeable, and sometimes it affects my ability to hit on target or be precise with a button press. Now, it's worth saying, I did get used to the frame drops. I got used to playing Days Gone on an average of 55 frames per second, the lowest being 23 frames per second. I did get used to the performance and really enjoyed single-player campaigns. I feel like that is the number one thing that I'll be doing on the Ally. I really loved playing Days Gone after I just adjusted to the drops. It's truly an amazing experience to be able to be playing a heavyweight game like Days Gone while sitting in bed or at the airport. And let me be clear, in some of these games, you can get them over 60 frames per second, but they look so ugly, it's not worth it. Now, Days Gone, I've been playing like crazy. It's the game I've played the most on the Ally, almost all of the time. It's extremely fun, and honestly, I wasn't even playing the game on my computer. I hadn't finished the story, but the Allies made me get back into it. I don't know exactly why. I guess there's just something about the story and being able to sit in bed and play it at the same time. As long as you can get used to the average 55 frames per second, then a game like Days Gone, you're really going to enjoy on the Ally. With the settings that I had it set to, the game still looked really good, and I still was blown away by how great this game looks after years after it's come out. To keep things positive, I've never enjoyed Halo like this before. I grew up on Halo, and this is probably the most fun I've had with the Ally, besides Days Gone. I can completely max it out, and the frame drops are not too noticeable. Same goes for Titanfall. Halo just looks absolutely stunning on the Ally. It looks beautiful. It's a great way to play Halo, is on the Asus Ally. Titanfall as well. It looks absolutely amazing, and it runs very well, both multiplayer and campaign. I played both the Titanfall 2 campaign and multiplayer, and I had a ton of fun. By the way, if you haven't played the Titanfall 2 campaign, I'm going to mention it again. You need to play it. It's amazing. Now, Spider-Man, I didn't have as much fun with Spider-Man. Spider-Man averaged between 45 and 55 FPS. And it was kind of annoying, honestly. It doesn't seem like the best way to play the game. No matter how much I tweaked to the graphics, I couldn't get it to where it looked visually pleasing. And I also got the performance that I wanted. It just wasn't that great of an experience. Maybe I could get used to it. I'm not going to lie. I am quite bored with Spider-Man. I played it a lot. And once you finish the main campaign, in my opinion, there's really not a lot more to do. So maybe if it was my first time playing Spider-Man, it would be a different experience. But as of right now, I don't really play Spider-Man on the Ally, and I'm probably going to remove it. It just doesn't really seem worth it to me. So to sum all this up, is the Ally worth it? Is it a great gaming experience? And to that, I would say, unfortunately, it completely depends on what you want to play. For me, for some games, it works. Days Gone, Halo, Titanfall. Now, for newer games like Spider-Man and Battlefield 2042, the performance isn't there to where I can really fully enjoy the games. Now, as to whether updates will resolve that, I don't know. This was my first portable handheld PC. I haven't played the Steam Deck, so I can't really compare it to it. What I will say is that I never bought the Steam Deck because I really wanted something that was going to run Windows, be capable of 1080p, and I just, all in all, wasn't impressed with the statistics that people were getting on the Steam Deck, the frame rates that some people were getting on certain games. The Asus Ally is a total win for me in the sense that I can play a lot of games that I normally wouldn't play, and I can in some of those games I can completely graphically max out, which is fantastic and very surreal. I've got some trips coming up, so I'm really looking forward to taking the Ally out on some long trips and really seeing what it's like being away from home, no computer, and just having the Asus Ally. I have to really give it to Asus that it's an incredibly beautiful device. As I said before, I wish they would have included some metal pieces. It does feel kind of cheap, and you're definitely going to want to get a case because if you drop this thing, it's going to get banged up bad. It does have Gorilla Glass on the screen, but I'm more referring to the plastic pieces. I really hope somebody makes maybe a rubber case for this outline that you can put on top of it. So this way you can have it protected at the same time while you're playing. I really enjoy the Ally. I just wish I could get some better performance out of it. And I don't know what it's going to be like in the future with future titles. I still have a lot more testing to do. I have to download some other games. But as of right now, I'm enjoying the Ally. I'm playing it more than I play on my main PC. And it's gotten me to play some games that I haven't touched in a really long time. So, if the Ally can continue to do that, continue to be a highlight of AAA, graphically intensive, single-player games, then I'll probably keep it around. I'll have to try some games out like Red Dead Redemption, maybe Elden Ring, which I haven't played yet, and see how those run on the Ally. And see if maybe the Ally can get me into those games, because I definitely think the Ally is the kind of system that will get me into new types of games that otherwise I would not have played. If you're thinking of picking up the Asus Ally, I highly recommend just simply watching gameplay of other people playing it, seeing if you really think you're going to enjoy the games that you want to play on the Ally. If you're a fan of Days Gone, Halo, or Titanfall, I really recommend the Ally. I think it handles them well enough that you can have a very enjoyable experience. Anyways, guys, this was my review of the Asus Ally. I think it's a really dope system, and I think if it meets your criteria, you should pick it up. I think it's probably the best portable PC out there right now. Anyways, guys, this has been the Spaceman. I hope you enjoyed the footage, and I hope you've enjoyed the gameplay and my review. Thanks. This is the Spaceman. I'm checking off.